Good morning. Welcome back to Left to Right. It's November 11th. I haven't made a video in a long time, but I do have an update for you guys. I recently had a post on the community part of this page that we have a new project here in the garage. So today, the thumbnail will probably say it, we have good news and a little sad news, but also good news. First things first, this is the next project. We have the 1954 F100. I've owned this truck for about 9 years, and just like a lot of you guys out there, this project has been just left, stuffed off to the side, and I really just haven't had the time to work on it. I've been working on a lot of other things. I have, other projects that I do for people, and also I had the 66 that I learned a lot on and got that thing back up and running and on the road. And we're going to see that thing here later in the video go to its new home. That's right. We went ahead and got the truck sold. I wanted to get that truck moved on to someone else. That way it can be enjoyed and used and not just stuffed over on the side of the property to where it gets left to rot. So I'd rather somebody that wants to use the truck and enjoy it still can with everything I've done to it. So back onto this guy. This is my 1954 F100. I've worked on this project for a couple of years, ever since I built the garage, and then it stalled out and got stuffed off to the side. So what we have here is basically the cab and chassis, and underneath the hood, which you'll see in later videos, I have the Coyote motor stuffed in between the frame rails, and then it's backed by a Mustang 6-speed transmission. I'm gonna walk you guys through this chassis a little bit. I can't pull the hood off right now, I'm just by myself and it's pretty heavy, but it does have an independent front suspension from Total Cost Involved, TCI. Great group of guys. Any questions you have when you buy stuff from them, they'll answer the phone, they'll get back to you. I even messed up a couple pieces and they were nice enough to send me the correct ones that I messed up, and I was able to get everything right because of some measurements that were wrong in their documents that they forgot to edit. So I'm gonna walk you guys around this truck real quick and you can see the suspension and all the welding I've done, and I'll explain a little bit, and then we'll go ahead and take a look at the 66 on what I've done to the 66 since our last video. All right, so here is the 54 F100, and as you can see, I have new fenders. It's sitting pretty low in comparison. It's sitting on casters right now, so I can move it around the garage. And I've gone ahead and replaced the rocker panels, the lower portion of the door jamb, the floorboards, and I still have to make the transmission tunnel to clear the dry shaft for the 6-speed, and then I also need to go ahead and finish up the firewall. Moving on to the back, I've installed the TCI 4-link and a Speedway Motors rear 9-inch sitting on a 390 gear. Guys over at Speedway are awesome. When I called them, we discussed the gearing for the rear, and they really helped me pick it out based on the gear ratios that I could find on the 6-speed transmission. So previously I had on a plasma table these arches cut. I designed them on CAD. I fully boxed in the frame and welded in these new higher arches to clear the suspension. Under the truck, I've created, which I need to get a light in here, I guess, some more support, which you'll see in a later video, to support kind of the new frame without all the cross members. So this is the truck. We're going to continue to work on this guy and videos throughout the winter. My goal is to get the doors back on. I have panels that you saw sitting inside the truck to replace the lower halves of the doors and get those welded up, firewall welded up, and just really start trying to tackle this truck. The goal is to get it running and stopping by the end of this year, or 2024, not this year. Here's the door panels I was just telling you about. So you're gonna start seeing this truck on future episodes of Left to Right, and yeah, I hope you guys are gonna enjoy this content. It's a fun truck. Like I said, I've owned it for 9 years, and I've really wanted to get back to it. I just haven't really had much motivation. but with the sale of the 1966, I should have more time to go ahead and focus on this guy. Let's go ahead and head out the door and look at the 66 and see what all we've done over the last few months, and get it loaded up and ready to go to its new home. There she is, sitting over here waiting to get loaded up. The new owner came by yesterday, took a look at the truck, saw everything. He's actually a subscriber of the page. He didn't know he was a subscriber of the page when he hit me up on the link to buy it, but having everything documented on the YouTube channel really helped him see what we had done to the truck and what he was looking at buying. So I'm gonna open the hood up and show you guys what we knocked out over the last few months on the truck. Let's get this guy opened up. And let's bring you guys in here and show you what all was done. All right, so since the last time we've done anything on the truck, which I believe the last video was the rear leaf spring bushings, we've installed a new fuel pump. The old fuel pump was working, but when the truck would sit for a while, it would take a long time to fill up the fuel filter and get fuel pumped up to the carburetor. So we've gone ahead and replaced that with a new guy, and we've of course redone the fuel filter, and we put on a new carburetor. So it runs much better with the new carburetor. I think it needs a little bit of fine tuning, but for the most part it'll fire up and run, especially with that new electric choke. It makes things a lot easier. A couple other things that I think need to be replaced would be the starter and the starter solenoid. Once you crank on it for a while, on cold starts, stuff like that, it starts to get a little bit slow. You can hear that starter starting to have issues. So I think that's probably going to be something the new owner can look at and take care of. It's really not hard to replace that stuff, so it'll be good and simple, and then he can learn the truck and continue to take it for a ride and enjoy it like I have. So here we go, a final walk around. You got everything we've done, which you guys have seen in videos. We've got all the new front suspension, new wheels and tires. Got the bed straightened up. Some of the body lines fixed as well when we did that radiator support. And of course, the wood bed that I had a lot of fun doing, and I am gonna miss, but that was such a fun project. I think it turned out amazing. Right now, we got a couple of things that we're gonna load up in here. We got a spare tire that came on the truck. We're gonna go ahead and put that guy on here. Take the license plates off, hook the trailer up to the truck, and get her loaded and on its way to a new home. Is it a 8mm? All right, let's get that off here. That's a great license plate. Farm. Now that we've gotten the rear license plate off and the front license plate off, go ahead and hook the truck and trailer up, get this guy loaded on its way to its new home. Alright, so in the preparation of making this video, I didn't charge my camera batteries. So you're on my phone, we're gonna load the truck up. Hopefully you don't fall down like 6 or 7 times. Is she straight? Yeah, we're good. We're good. So with the sale of the 66 kicking off the build of the 54, or the restart of my 54 build, I need to pick up where I left off. And I basically left off with getting this transmission tunnel built, and I couldn't do that without getting a new shifter. The factory MT82 shifter sits really far back into the cab for the Mustang, and this is off of the transmission that I purchased. And I went with the same company, MGW, to pick up the new MT82 shifter. Now, luckily, they sell a conversion shifter, and I ordered that through them. Great people. If you ever need a shifter, give them a call, and they're happy to help you out. And here is the new shifter. I'll grab the other one real quick and show you the difference between the two. So this is the MT82 shifter that's factory, and then this is the conversion, and you can see where it mounts the shift point up to the transmission. It's very close. So it's basically gonna put this right on the back of that tail housing. So I'm gonna relocate you guys over inside the cab. I'm gonna grab the rest of these, the hardware for this guy, and then we're gonna go ahead and install it, and I'll show you the difference between the two. And maybe I'll grab the seat and put it in here so that you guys can see where it aligns with like the bottom of your seat if you're thinking about doing this transmission in your build as well. So now that we're in the truck, you can see the difference between the shifters. You have the factory style MGW shifter, which sits here, and that puts the shifter all the way back here underneath where the seat is. The front of the seat sits roughly right here where this bead is in the floorboard. And then this guy just isn't gonna work for us. So the MGW conversion shifter takes this and puts it right there on the back of the transmission, which is almost up against the front of your seat, but I can have the seat carved out so that it can avoid this, or just have bucket seats and it still be up here in the front. So we're gonna go ahead and get this installed. The only thing you're gonna need is a 12mm wrench and some Allen keys and a 10mm for the bolt that goes here on top of the transmission. The good thing about this kit is it comes with the hardware you need to install it to the transmission, so you don't have to worry about salvaging anything off of an old transmission, or if you're just missing the bolts, they do send these bolts with the kit. This is the 10mm, which is the top bolt here, and then a couple of Allen bolts that will bolt the shifter to this bridge that they've provided. The first thing you want to do is get this installed. So we pull the pin and set that here on the shifter ball. That's pretty much it, other than these two Allen bolts that go on the front of the shifter here. I guess I should go ahead and put the seat in to really show how this shifter works with the factory 54 seat. That sounded amazing. So what I've done is set the factory seat back in here so you guys can see how the MT82 conversion shifter works with this setup. It still doesn't work with this seat. You're gonna have to have a seat custom made to fit around it. Or what I'm thinking of doing is taking this billet piece off here and having another piece fabricated, machined, or I'll just get some flat stock and weld it together and grind it down. And what I'll do is make a shifter that comes forward and that puts the shifter here. You'll still have to be able to push down to get it in reverse, so I'm not sure if that's all still gonna work, so I'll have to play around with that idea. But right now, I'll just show you guys how this guy works on this transmission with this type of seat. You can always avoid it with going with bucket seats, but I'm not a big fan of bucket seats in this style of truck, so I'm just gonna have to figure out a way to get a bench seat to work with it. I'm sure I can have one made that'll just loop in this area and it'll still allow me to use the shifter. Before I conclude this video, I wanted to show you guys what the 66 sale brought us. Not only did it give us more room in the shop to work on the 54, but as you can see behind me over here on the wall, I have brand new rear fenders. And down here on the floor in this crate, I ordered a brand new bed kit. It's all made by Dennis Carpenter and it comes with the bed wood, the slats between the bed, all the brackets, cross members, and hardware to make this truck complete. I still have body work to do. I need to cut and weld some panels in for the firewall and also the lower halves of the door. I have all that stuff laying in boxes and I just haven't been able to get to it. But as I stated, the goal this year is to get this truck running, driving, stopping by the end of 2024. I'm not looking to get it into paint. I'm just looking to get majority of the body panels cut and welded and finished and in primer. That way we can drive the truck around a little bit, get on the road, run it through its paces, make sure the brakes work, the clutch works, the suspension works, and then we'll blow it all apart again and we'll send it off for paint. That doesn't mean I'm not gonna paint the suspension components in the frame. I'm still gonna do all that because I don't wanna put it on the road with raw metal. So that's the goal for the year. I hope you guys follow along and watch all the videos to come. This is gonna conclude today's video and the start to the 54 build. Thanks for watching. I gotta figure out this shifter in this seat. Oh well. There's first. There's second. Let's go ahead and put it in drive. There's reverse.